Welcome to another episode of Magnificent. Today we have two wonderful guests. I call them the fit couple with a capital F. It's Shane and Jessica. Shane, Jessica, welcome to the show. They are amateur bodybuilders, and I'm very happy to have them here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah. I know that you guys have never done this before, so you guys are like feeling pretty awkward right now. Shane's just trying to figure out what he's where to put his hands.
You know, I got this big black thing in front of my face, and of all the things that I'm used to being in my face, this isn't it. But we're getting used to it.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. Got to gently get into there and everything. So,
but no, glad to be here. We're excited.
Yeah, you got your Ghost Energy drink with us, and
yeah, hashtag not a sponsor.
Hashtag not a sponsor. That's right.
But they do crack you the hell up.
Oh, do they?
I mean,
yeah. And they taste so good.
Yeah, we had a bad habit where we were drinking them like 2 a day for a minute there.
Yeah, I still do one a day, but yeah, we were doing like 2 a day. It was pretty bad. A lot of caffeine.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
not including like pre-workout or anything like that.
Oh yeah, you start getting in the pre-workout too, and then you're taking like what we were taking like we did the math and it was like 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You want to add cocaine to that mixture? Jesus.
At that point you might as well. But no, we actually managed to dial it down to. Well, I dial it down to coffee.
I do one energy drink a day now. That's a big difference.
This is new news to me.
But you just heard it. The couple is having cracks in the relationship over energy drinks.
Well, she's pretty good with like she buys the groceries. So like I was trying to like we were doing budgeting one day and we're like, how much like realistically are we spending on energy drinks? And like at $3 a pop, we're like breaks down to like $42 a week, and we're like, holy crap, like we're spending this much money on energy drinks. So I was like, well, like if we just drink a cup of coffee instead, and after that we were like, oh, okay, like this is kind of a good little alternative.
Yeah,
coffee is definitely a good alternative compared to you guys. You guys are the fitness gurus and everything like that. But let's start off with the dad joke of the day. So as we do on the show, we do a dad joke of every episode, which is called the dad joke of the episode, not the dad joke of the day. I need to learn how to read cards. And so I'm going to scroll through here my handy dandy list of dad jokes. No joke, it is a list of dad jokes. All right, so let's see here. We're going to go with, all right. So we were talking about, my apartment when you guys got in here. So I just moved into an igloo, and my friends threw me a housewarming party. Now I'm homeless.
Oh.
And that was the dad joke of the episode. I haven't tried that button, but I wanted to try it so bad.
adds to the effect.
Figured a little echo would definitely help. So, but anyway, so how did you guys meet? Like, I gotta know how you guys met.
I mean, it's a long story. I feel like everyone you talk to in a relationship's like, oh, it's such a long story, but with us it kind of is a long story because like there's a lot of running around. Like technically we met we didn't really meet. We followed each other on Instagram in 2017 through a mutual friend.
Yes.
And then through the runaround, like she was into bodybuilding, I was into bodybuilding, we were doing shows, and coincidentally enough, I was doing like in bodybuilding, like it's popular to go to other shows to see like what the competition's going to be like, because what you'll see in one show, like that same person might try and do another show to qualify better or whatever. So like I actually ended up going to her show, and she ended up taking first place in her show. And
yeah, I did pretty well.
Yeah, and she was friends with Sarah at the time.
Yeah,
our friend Sarah. And I mean, I remember asking Sarah like, oh, who's your friend, who's this and that, and she's like, oh, whatever. And Sarah happened to tag Jessica in like a post or something like that, and I ended up following her. And from there, I mean, like what you followed me back.
Yeah, we just like were like, I never turned him down, but I never said, yeah, let's hang out. So like we would just like each other's stuff and like reply to each other's stories.
Yeah, there was always like a weird tension there.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like with her, I was always like very like standoffish, like / timid, because I was like, oh, she's like this very pretty like fitness girl, like probably way out of my league type thing, and like never really like thought I even had a chance. And then like I think it was what 20. So that would have been 2019 you did your show, and then towards the end of 2019 we started texting or like messaging a little bit back and forth, but then like we stopped, and then like we hung out one time to like get a workout in, just as like normal friends. There was like no intentions behind it at all, like just hang out, get a workout in, because like it was my thing to like always like work out with people, like just like in the fitness industry, to like make friends, meet new people, like get tips, stuff like that. That's how you learn things, is just through meeting new people. And I was like, okay, just meet her, hang out and whatever. And then like we were at one of the powerhouses we go to, and from there we could tell like there's this like click, like there's like a weird like tension there was like a weird click. And then like from there we kind of like just like left each other alone from there, because like it was kind of like it was a good connection, but like you were dating someone at the time.
I was in a relationship at the time, and like it wasn't going well, and so I hung out with Shane, but like we instantly clicked, and I was like, I can't, like I was like, I can't see him again. But then like that ended, and we happened to be going to the same festival that year. And so like we started talking again, this and that, and then we were supposed to meet up at the festival, but someone lost their phone.
You got something to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so like I was single at that time, and like I remember so obviously like there's pre-gaming and stuff like that, and like everyone talks about like what they're gonna do, who they're gonna hang out with and stuff like that. But I was like, oh, there's this girl Jessica, she happens to, and like previously knowing her for over a year, like going into the festival knowing of her, it's always nice to go to like I think the festival we went to was Los Angeles, and that has over like what 500,000 people, or no 250,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to go to a festival and meet up with people. It's just for the familiarity. So I was like, oh, this girl Jessica's gonna be there, I've always kind of had like a thing for her, so like we're hoping to meet up. And then like the crew I was with, like they were doing their thing, and the crew she was with, they were doing their thing. But like we were going back and forth trying to like coordinate things. Well, it's in the middle of like nowhere, Ohio.
No service there.
Yeah, so like
all.
service is already spotty as it is. Well, I ended up getting into like one of the mosh pits or whatever, and all of a sudden like my phone just gone at that point. And I'm like, crap, like I really want to meet up with her. So at that point, like I'm in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. I had drifted off from my group, and no phone, no anything, no means of connection. And like I was like, well, if something happens, something happens. And I do remember at one point towards the end of the festival, like once things like kind of started settling down, I was walking and someone said like, hey, come over here. And I swear to this day I thought it was you. But I don't think you remember that.
I was blacked out a lot of the weekends, so I don't know. At one point my friends were like, oh no, you ran up to some guy, you gave some guy a hug, and I'm like, and then like I showed them a photo, and they're like, I don't think that was him. I'm like, I don't think it was him.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was pretty I mean, not having a phone and then just being completely obliterated, like, I mean, that was probably one of the more messed up nights I've had.
That's probably a good combo.
Yeah, I mean, going back to camp, it was a struggle in itself, because at Lost Lands, like again, middle of nowhere, Ohio, but it's like all on rolling hills, so like you're battling that. So like on top of losing my phone, I was like, yeah, we're probably not going to meet up. But then after Lost Lands, we started like messaging each other, like, so like Instagram's good with like reposting a lot of the sets, reposting a lot of things on there. And then we started sending each other more and more stuff from that weekend. And then all of a sudden, like, she's like, hey, this song reminded me of you. And then like, it's a funny.
Jessica, that's so sweet.
that honestly, it was that. To be fair, I've never told you this, but it was at that moment I'm like, oh, she's digging me. I'm like, all right, I'm starting to. I'm like, I might have a chance here. So like, I think for a minute there, I was trying to like hang out with you, and like you like. I thought she was legitimately like giving me the runaround, like, oh, I can't because I'm busy. Like, it'd always be this attitude of like, hey, let's hang out, and then like, oh, I can't because I'm working out or I'm working and stuff like that. And
But
then,
I really was working a lot. Like I'm a bartender, so I just was like, I don't know. I like in the summer I got my heart broken, and I was like, okay, well I'm just gonna work, and yeah. So I wasn't giving you the runaround. I was busy.
no, I know that now.
She was being that, typical girl busy.
Yeah.
After a girl gets her heart broken, yeah.
Well, the thing is
Makes
like
sense.
as a guy, like like the runaround some girls do. So like I'm like,
Yep.
okay, here we
Yep,
go. Like,
sure do.
so I'm like, all right, whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, I'm like, I always fell back. I'm like, there's always that weird like connection we had when we first met. So I was like, okay. Well, all of a sudden you came back from EDC Orlando, and that's when
Yeah.
things like really started picking up. And I think it was like that following week after EDC Orlando of 2020. That was when like I actually asked her out on a legitimate date. Like,
That a
No,
boy.
well we
That
went
a
to
boy.
we went to the gym first, and I considered that our first date. But
So who
Shayna-
asked who out? So who asked who out?
I guess technically she did.
I was like, we should get a Lifton together.
Yeah, because we already got one in, and
When in doubt, gym date.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hot, you're sweaty, the pheromones are going, like you're getting swole. There's a glute pump in your face, why not?
You got that grind on it and the cringe in your face and everything like that.
You're helping activate muscles by touching them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we got the gym date in, and then again, like we could tell there was like that connection again. So we're like, okay, like there's obviously something there. Because like the first time it's like it could be like, oh, it's just like a lust thing, but the second time it's like, okay, no, there's definitely something there. So like I think it was like a week later, I was like, no, like I want to take you out on a date, like, and she's like, I've never actually been out on a date.
Yeah,
what?
he picked me up and everything. Like guys don't really do that anymore. Like they don't like it's like, do you want to just like meet somewhere? Like
Well, hold on, Jessica. How old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh man, I'm 28.
Not a big deal. You're still in your 20s. You still got this. You look great for 28.
Thanks.
So, but you've seriously never been on a date before?
Like, no, I've never had a guy like come pick me up, like come take me out. Like it was I know.
The funny thing
Men
is,
suck.
Can I just say to all the gentlemen out there, what the fuck are you doing?
Take
What the
women
fuck?
out on dates.
Yes, we said it here from a woman. Take these women out on dates.
Go pick them up.
Yeah, be gentlemen, damn it.
Yeah, it's so rare. Like, I mean, I tell them all the time, I'm like, dude, you're a rare breed.
Attaboy. Way to go. Way to go, big shot.
yeah.
So you picked her up, you brought flowers and all that jazz.
I didn't, but I wasn't gonna be that like. There, I feel like
That's suave.
there's a line that you gotta hover around. But no, I remember I picked her up, and the funny thing is like we went to the Green Dot.
Yes.
And the Green Dot to get there is like in a weird area. So like we're driving in the middle of like
It's very shady.
It was like 8 Mile
This
and like
first date-
Dequinder or something like
This
that.
first date sounds better and better the more you open your
Oh,
mouth about
God.
it. But keep
Oh.
going.
Oh, it only gets better.
Oh, keep going.
Yeah, it was 8 Mile and Dequinder, and like in the middle of like the not the greatest area, but like I love the food there, so I was like, I know this, and it's just down. Like if you drive like 15 minutes down from Green Dot, you can get into downtown. So my plan was like, we can go to Green Dot, have a couple sliders, a couple drinks, and then go to downtown. Well, like we get there and we're driving through like the hood, and then all of a sudden, like she's like, my friends have my location. You know that, right?
I was like, I am not dying today. You are not dropping my body off here.
She's like, I listen to true crime. This is not happening to me. No,
mean-
thank you.
When she got into the car with a strange Asian man, she had to expect some weirdness that night. But from there we start drinking, we start eating, and like my mom, like, this is gonna sound weird, but like my mom always said, like, you'll know it's the right girl if she can eat in front of you. And let me tell you, like, the very first date, she starts horking down freaking sliders as if they're like freaking going out of stock. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, you can eat. But I guess I should have known that, being like she's in the fitness industry and the bodybuilder, like she's got to get
She
her
was
macros
hungry.
in.
Yeah.
Well, and also, didn't you guys go after the gym?
No,
No. This
those
was this was the second time, because like this was the technically in my eyes the second date, because the first time we just went to the gym, and then he asked me out, like, I want to take you out on like a nice date, like do something not in like leggings and sweatpants, you know.
Yeah, she got to
So,
get pretty and wear. You wore like the cheetah onesie.
yes.
Yeah, and then she ended up eating.
Wait, cheetah onesie?
Or a cheetah one piece with jeans on. not just like a onesie.
I'm like,
we got stories with onesies too. Though.
I'm
It's
thinking to
okay.
myself, I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean,
Like a pajama
if it makes you
Yeah,
feel,
yeah, literally, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, did
No,
she like
no.
totally just rock a pajama onesie
No.
with
I
cheetah
wish I
print?
could. I mean, I probably could.
I mean,
but at a
on a first date, no. But if it makes you feel any better, we have 2 dinosaur onesies at home that we wear frequently. They're
Like for movie night or something.
yeah, like
What do you
Or
guys
one
do?
time we took our dog on a walk in our onesies.
Yeah,
it was
Alright,
kind of
that's
cold.
pretty cute.
she's got a triceratops. I've got the T-Rex.
You would be the T-Rex.
Yeah, of course.
It's the small arms.
Oh my gosh. So with bodybuilding, how did you guys get started in it? Whoever wants to start first, I guess.
I don't know. I was just like lifting for a little while, and then you see like these body. I'm like, I want to do that. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to look like that. I want to see what my body can look like at its like prime. So, you know, then you start talking to people. You like kind of get coaches, and I mean, Shane didn't have any, but I did. So like, kind of like find a few coaches, and then you start prepping for one, and yeah, and then you kind of do it. It's hard. Like, I don't think people talk about like the other side of it. Like, yeah, it's cool to look great and all, but like the toll it takes on your body, and like, I mean, honestly, like your social life.
Well, I mean, I think you can vouch for me on this, especially since you like worked with me during my bodybuilding phases. Is like,
Yeah, and especially your beginning bodybuilding phase.
yeah, I guess you never saw my 2019 competition, but my 2018 one you would have seen.
Yeah, was that the one that you were in swim shorts?
The 2019 one was, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last one. That was actually the last one I did was in 2019. I've been kind of taking some time to actually build more muscle, better and whatnot. But
Yeah,
I got into it through football. Like I always played sports in high school.
Yep.
And
And
then
Shane and I played football together.
yeah, and
So-
then from there, once football was done, because your boy had too many concussions, I think I had 4, and then after the 4th one, they told me like, yeah, you're gonna have some damage when you're older, so that might be why Jessica like has to tell me to close the fridge 3 times.
It explains a lot.
But so after that, there was always like this missing void of like pushing myself. Like in football, like there was always this like, you got to do this to get to this point. Like you're either working out because like the next season you want to get stronger, or like you're always pushing your body more and more. Well, after football ended, I was always like missing that like competitiveness. So like I think it was like 2015 I got into seriously working out. 2017 all the way to like 2018 I was all seriously working out and building like legitimate muscle. And then I was like, okay, well, what's the next step to this? And then all of a sudden, I was like, well, doing shows. The options were either powerlifting, bodybuilding, or like just some competitiveness of like CrossFit or Tough Mudders or things like that. I found bodybuilding the most interesting because of the dedication it takes. Like, there's some leeway with a lot of those, but with bodybuilding, like, you have to be on a regimen. You have to be on like, it's almost like military strict. Like you have to eat at certain times. You have to do like all this stuff. And like, I thought that was actually really cool to push your body to that limit. Well, I was like, okay, let's take it a step further and start pushing that. And to see your body transform and get down to like 6 or 5% body fat. I mean, it's actually a crazy thing to see. And then from there, I mean, I kind of just fell in love with it. And I mean, even to this day, even though like I'm not competitively bodybuilding right now, there's still all the regimens I still follow to like daily. I mean, 6 meals a day, timed out in between 2 hours each, watching every ounce of protein, every carb, everything that's going in.
We like still weigh everything out, and I don't know, it just becomes.
So you guys
like,
are still in the routine. You guys aren't just competing. That's
yeah.
it. You guys are like in the off season, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes total sense. Okay.
Yeah, because with bodybuilders, like people don't realize that like to look like that, you have to go through off seasons to get bigger, and what you're actually seeing on stage is actually a product of those off seasons, and you're actually losing weight. So like I in the off season, like right now I'm like 205, and even then, just before that, I actually dieted down in Florida to go to Florida. I was at 215.
Was that when you guys like took the like really cute beach photos and stuff like that? Dude, that was gorgeous. Fucking
we went
gorgeous.
for his birthday.
That was great. Like his hair was all dead, like looking ripped as fuck. You guys are looking so cute.
So that's the great thing about bodybuilding is like once you diet down to 5% body fat, like doing a crash diet of like a month, like to go on vacation, it's really nothing. So like those pictures that we took, like everyone's like, oh, those are such good pictures. It's like I really crash dieted that in like a few weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think like right after like around the new year, we were like, okay, we have like a month, we gotta like diet down, and then we just diet down, do some cardio, and like it's like bam. But that's because like 90% of the year, we are like in the gym, and we're always like watching what we eat and everything like that. I mean, on the weekends, like we still splurge. Like, I mean, we still eat brownies and cinnamon rolls.
As you should.
We just had some yesterday. They were so good.
Some of us like to eat a whole box of cinnamon rolls, and someone being me.
Or a whole tub of ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Nothing, and I find out everything. The worst part was one night I came home from work. I got off work early, and I walk in, and Shane just has like all this fast food on the table, and like I just look at him, and he's like, "Oh my god, I didn't think you were going to be home yet."
Yeah, I mean, we've been dating for 1.5 years now, and there's still stuff I like try and be like, what's the word, chivalrous, or like I try and hide just like so that she doesn't find out. But like, okay, I bought my house on my own, like living like single man life. So like we've been living together for what, 1.5 years now, and like I mean, we realistically moved in right when we started dating, but like there's still things that like I'll do that I'm like, god dang it, I can't do this anymore because I'm not single. Like, so like the other, like I ate a whole tub of ice cream one day. It was actually just on Monday.
Yes, I know.
I ate a whole tub of ice cream, and I threw it in the garbage thinking, oh, she's not gonna know. I get a text Tuesday morning. She's like, I know what you did last night. I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, what the heck did I do? And then she's like, you ate a whole tub of ice cream. I'm like, oh god dang it.
I find everything. Or I'll never forget like the outside trash he threw out a Popeye's box one time, and I went to go throw some trash out and take it out, and I'm like, dude, why is there just a random Popeye's box? Like, so I texted him, I'm like, did you have Popeye? He's like, damn it, I didn't think you'd notice.
You gotta stop eating and trying to hide that shit, because
you know,
you ain't winning, son.
You know, you think you can get away with some stuff, but just know this, fellas, if you're in a relationship, your woman will find out everything. No, she keeps me honest. That's the one thing that is nice, like her and I having that connection in bodybuilding is like the foundation's so strong with us, and she's gone as far as doing shows and things like that like we do keep each other honest. So like when it's game time, like, hey, we want to diet for this, or we've even talked about the possibility of doing shows together and stuff like that. That like if one of us wanted to take it even that like to that next level again, like we keep each other honest. So it's actually pretty nice.
Well, that's good. I mean, like as in normal relationships, like you need to keep each other honest, and you gotta, you know, stand by each other and support each other. And I mean, with bodybuilding, I think you guys have like really hit that nail on the head, you know?
Yeah. So. No, it is nice because then like also just going to the gym together, like if someone isn't into fitness, like they don't get why are you spending an hour and a half at the gym? Like why, you know, like we could be doing something, we could be going out, or like when you do have to eat healthy, like some people don't always get that, you know?
So. Well, yeah, like like most girls, it's like, oh, why are you spending 2 or 3 hours in the gym and things like that? It's like, well, honestly, it's a good stress reliever, but on top of that, just like I think a lot of people don't take their health seriously. So like just like getting into that routine and keeping that routine is nice to like just it for me, it keeps my body just feeling normal.
Yeah, and I can definitely say that. I mean, I'm not extreme like into bodybuilding. Like I've been trying to, eat right and and work out 3 times a day, or not 3 times a day. That's crazy.
Freaking Arnold before you know it.
Yeah, literally. Pretty much 3 times a week is what I was trying to say. And hit the sauna for about 30 minutes. I'm trying to reach up to an hour because I'm hearing a lot of people say like go into the sauna for an hour. So yeah, your face is telling me everything.
What?
Yeah, that's a
That's
long time.
I was
That's a
gonna say I
long-ass
go
time,
for
dude.
like fucking 10 minutes, and I'm like,
I started at 10 or 15 minutes.
wait, so why an hour? I've never heard.
I have no idea. Supposedly it's supposed to make you feel better, but
Are you drinking water when you're in the sauna?
I do.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do.
At least you're doing
Yeah,
that.
don't like pass out or something.
No. My my hydration is very good. So, but yeah, I mean, with that, like, I get it. Like going to the gym and like some days you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, or like,
Oh yeah.
or this and that, and it's a struggle. It's like it's a mental struggle, and then when you go, you're like, God, yeah, I got the pump. I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we always say that too. There's plenty of times where we're like, oh, like we really don't want to go, and then we go, and it's like, oh man, I feel so good after. Like every time, it never disappoints.
Yeah,
Like,
I will agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Even a bad day of us going to the gym is usually still better than not going at all. Like,
yeah, even if it's a crappy workout, like it's like, well, I still got in there and like did something.
Right.
Left my ass stains on the same people who left their ass stains on the bench.
You don't clean that shit?
Are you supposed to?
Okay, well, like, okay, actually, you don't think that like when you're paying for a membership, like you're paying for like people to go around and clean the gym? Like, why is it before COVID, that was never like, I mean, there was like paper towel, but realistically there was no like spray bottles or anything. Why is it my job to clean up?
So nobody gets ringworm.
I mean, but like, why don't they hire people to like clean the gym? I mean, if I leave sweat stains, yeah, I'll clean it up. But like, if I'm not like leaving drip sweat all over like the equipment, like I'm really not gonna waste my time having to clean up the equipment. To be honest.
I feel like there's a gray area to that because if I'm working out and I get up and like, girl or guy, if I see like driblets of sweat or something like that, like I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't want to work out here. But I mean, at the same token, like, yeah, so we're at this gym right now, and the problem we're having is like they don't clean up anything, so like it's getting really bad there and really gross. So like I understand maybe wanting to clean up stuff, but like at the same token, we watch these people who work at the front counter and all they do is just like sit on their phones all day. So realistically, like if I was a gym owner, I would say like, hey, go clean up.
Like it's
stuff.
so dusty. Yeah. Shane, what was it? 2-3 days ago, he wrote clean in dust on one of the machines, and it's like it's still there.
Yeah,
it's kind of gross.
Yeah, it is bad.
Nice.
Like we've never been to a dirtier gym. That's why we are leaving there.
I mean, sounds like a dungeon.
I mean, it basically is.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the thing is their target market is like hardcore atmosphere, like grungy type gym goers, things like that, and that's what we like.
Was the like the deadlift that you had? What was it? 455.
Oh yeah, a couple days ago.
Was that the gym that you were talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, that does look like a dungeon. It's so
really,
dark.
I mean,
I'm like, how do you?
We went. So their power went out when like everybody lost power recently, and we went to a different powerhouse because we wanted to go lift. And when we went to the other powerhouse and it was like normal lighting, I'm like, oh my god, our gym is so dark. Why is it so bright in here?
Yeah, we got used to the whole low lit and banging your ankles on not being able to see anything.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when we finally went to a normal gym with the well lit lighting, everything's nice and clean. It's like, wow, this is actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. We're gonna take a quick break. And we're back. All right. So we took a little nice break. We had a little chit chat. I totally forgot to mention, Shane, you got me in trouble back in the day. So
Oh God, I've gotten a lot of people in trouble. Single Shane has gotten a lot of people in trouble. I will admit that one. His mischievousness.
So do you remember what happened?
I don't. You might have to.
All right, I'll give you a little hint. Golfing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember. I remember partially, but again, another one of my drunken escapades.
Oh God, I want to hear this story.
I don't think I've ever told you this.
No, I don't know this
All right.
story.
You're the boyfriend. Go ahead and tell it. It's my show, but go ahead.
I mean, there was a lot that happened that day. I remember we got just trashed on the golf course. I think we crashed the golf course.
So
that
Shane
day.
brought 4 different Gatorade bottles mixed with Gatorade and vodka.
Oh God,
yeah, that's right.
Oh.
And
I actually
we
forgot about
and
this.
Shane and I, we were a pair when golfing.
This
And-
was a work event, by the way.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
Yeah. And meanwhile, let's see, we were underage. So
Oh yeah, I would have only been like 19. At
we
that
were
time.
19, 20 years old. Yeah, we were about 19, 20.
Oh my God.
Yeah, at a work event. Not only that, but he brought his Gatorade mixed with vodka. But again, we also were getting passed around Jaeger bombs
Oh,
by
Joe.
other coworkers.
Yeah, I remember
Oh
now.
God,
At the
that is
club-
an
yeah, when-
awful combination.
Yeah, we were at I actually forgot all about this. See, this is cool when you actually like because that was like a different part of my life. That was before I was even seriously into bodybuilding. But like, I actually do remember that now. I forgot all about this. We were passing on the Gatorade with vodka, and then we got through the first 9 holes, and we were at the club, and that was when Joe got it. Was either Joe or I might have been someone else, but I'm pretty sure if anyone was going to do it, was going to be Joe.
Yeah.
He bought us a round of Jaeger bombs, and
Yeah.
we were already drinking, and then that's like what put us over the edge.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then he bought us another round on a hole. And he's like, "Hey, golf cart
Ew,
girl,
ew.
Oh, I
you know."
don't remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that one. And he's like, "What do you guys want? Another Jaeger bombs. Let's go."
Oh god,
He sounded just like that. Just to let y'all know.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so we ended up going, and we were done golfing, and him and I were just like still feeling it.
Yeah, I think if I remember, we were so messed up we weren't gonna drive because that was the one thing was like I'm always good with like not driving when I'm drunk. I like for no matter how messed up I get, I always just am good with not driving.
Yeah.
But I think we walked over to Stony Creek.
Yeah, we took a little mosey walk to Stony Creek, and we just passed out on the beach. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that was when this picture was taken.
Yeah. Oh, I got a bunch of other photos too. I'll have to scroll through because it was like years ago. But oh, are you showing the ones of you and I?
Yeah, I just found them on Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
I
there it
archived
is.
them, but
Yeah.
I forgot all about this night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I even captioned it. Tiger Woods ain't got nothing on my drunk ass. Oh, jeez. Look how small I used to be.
Yeah, you were small then.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that was.
So wait, why did you get in trouble?
So we got back home, and I was still intoxicated because we took like maybe a couple hour nap on the beach.
Okay,
And
so
no
wait, how
shit.
did you guys get home?
He
Oh,
drove.
I drove, yeah.
Oh my God.
I was sober by that point, though. But if I remember
Supposedly.
if I remember correctly, though, there's like a little bit even before that. Like I remember passing out on the beach. We were literally passed out on the beach, and I just remember like it's not like we were in bathing suits. I just showed you the picture. We were in like khaki shorts
Yeah.
and like a
A
shirt.
t-shirt. And he probably took his shirt off, and I took my shirt off just to
Like
hide
cover your
hide
face
the
or something.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, we were laid out on the middle of Stony Creek, and I just remember hearing people around us, and I'm just like gone at that point, and I just remember hearing people around us like, "Are they okay? Should we call somebody?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Because we
God.
were out. we were out big
Yeah.
time.
That was one of the more funner work events.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh.
freaking Young and Shane.
Yeah. Look at that baby. Holy crap, your face has gotten so much beefier.
Thanks. I've been eating
Wow.
tubs of ice cream.
There you go. All right, I can't find it in my camera roll, but I bet you it's on Instagram. So, speaking of Instagram, you can see these wonderful flexing amateur bodybuilders that I have in front of me on our Instagram and our Facebook at Magnificent Podcast. So go check out their beautiful faces. And but yeah, back to the story of how I got in trouble. So after we left Stony Creek, we were driving back to my dad's house, and I got back to my dad's house, and I start stumbling in, and with my whole golf bag and everything, and Shane just skirts right off, and I'm like, and I start stumbling in, and my dad can smell the alcohol on me, like he's like, "Were you drinking?" And I go, "No." And he's like, "No, you were." So him and I start going back and forth, and all of a sudden, of course, when you drink, your emotions get high, and you can be either really sad drunk or you could be a angry drunk. I'm not usually an angry drunk, but at that moment, I became a very angry drunk, and I was like, "You know what? Yeah, I did drink."
Oh
Yeah,
god,
liquid confidence going.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Had all the
yeah.
liquid
Listen
courage.
here, Mr. Man. Let me tell you a thing or two.
And that's exactly what I did to my dad, and I got in so much trouble.
You know, if you don't have a couple yelling matches with your dad, what kind of relationship do you even have?
I mean, have you with your dad?
Have you met your dad?
Good point. Enough said.
Yeah,
Enough
you
said.
actually worked with my dad at
I
Accurate
did.
for a little
I
bit.
did.
So yeah,
How was that?
I hated every minute of it.
he's a little rough around the edges.
If he's listening, if he listens to this show, Phil, I love you, but you drove me up the wall.
Yeah, he's a rough around the edges, but once you find his soft spots,
He's a little softy.
I wouldn't put it that way.
A little bit.
No, him and I have had our fair share of butting heads.
Of course, and I feel like every father and son do. I mean, I definitely feel,
I definitely heard all those cracks.
Good, nice with the finger cracks there, bud.
I'm a fidgeter. I need to constantly fidget.
I know.
Do I need to give you that fidget spinner?
Yes.
Yes.
If you
Is
have
that-
one,
if you have
yes,
one.
he is
Was that-
awful.
Was that your jam back in the day?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I've even told Jessica I was gonna get her a ring that was a fidget ring, just because like
not
whenever
the right ring?
Wait. Joke's on you. Yeah, whenever we hold hands, she always like gets mad whenever I spin like or play with her rings. So I'm
Oh
like,
my god, yeah, all the time. Or he'll lay with like my bones. And I'm like, can you please stop? He's like, I just need to fidget with something.
but no,
She's probably like, fidget with yourself.
I already did enough of that when I was single. I need another body part to fidget. No, Accurate was a trip. I remember like when we worked together or worked near each other. We never worked together, but
No.
that was an interesting time. Yeah, it was two different parts of our lives. Like you were going to school, and I was obviously just coming up in my industry and taking on the workloads that I'm used to. But no, I mean, you were one of the more pleasurable people I worked with. You know what I
I
mean?
appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, because I mean, even though we didn't work alongside each other, lunches were great.
Yeah.
Well, what did we have? An hour-long lunch?
I think it was like hour or 40 minutes or something along those lines.
Yeah. So we would have an hour lunch, and we would watch shows on Netflix. And one of Shane's favorite, I don't know if it's still your favorite, Big Mouth.
I like the earlier seasons. I tried getting Jessica into that actually when we first started
Yes.
dating. I tried getting her into that. I like the first couple seasons, but then it started taking like a weird turn that like my brain couldn't comprehend because bodybuilder brain small equals small. But no, not every one of them. Just me. But yeah, I after like it took a turn and like season like 3 or something like that, it just like got weird, and I'm like, all right, I'm too good. I'm good on this, but no, it wasn't bad. It definitely pushes the limits of social norms. That's for sure. But once once I got out of that, I think we got into Friends. You and I got into Friends. That
Did we watch Friends?
I thought we did, or was it? I know we watched The Office. When was it? What were we watching when you sneezed on me?
Oh shit! Oh my god, what were we watching? But I apologize for that.
Oh, I don't care. I still have the video of that actually, because like it happened like at the perfect time. We were watching like Friends or Big Mouth or something like that, and then like all of a sudden like I was recording something on Snapchat, and then at the same exact time he sneezes on me, and I'm like, oh god, it's everywhere. It's all.
He's like,
on
you
me."
disgusting motherfucker.
and then Joe's like, so the way we were situated, like Joe sat like from like me to you away, which was only like 10 feet, and then he's just sitting there dying from laughter because he woke up. He would always take nap time or lunchtime naps, and he wakes up and he's just dying from
Joe
laughter.
could not breathe. He was laughing so hard, and I was like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so funny though. Meanwhile, he's like, oh, you disgusting motherfucker.
I could see it.
Listen, you rip ass sometimes, and it's like a water buffalo.
Oh,
wow.
whatever. Look who's talking. So we got Shane into fruits and veggies lately, and yeah.
Yeah, you'd think being into bodybuilding, I would have been into fruits and vegetables a long time ago, but it was strictly just like protein and like carbs. But then all of a sudden I start dating Jessica, and she's like, hey, there's these other things of the food pyramid called fruits and vegetables. So I start eating those, and my digestive tract just isn't used to it. So for like a solid like couple weeks, like it's just been ripping my like intestines apart. And like, I've been going through what I call metamorphosis of just like, dude, it's like the gas has been just, it's not smelly, it's just loud.
Well, the funniest thing is one day he was like, he ate literally a whole container of like spinach, and I'm like, dude, well, this is why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Eat a little bit, don't eat the whole box.
Attaboy, Popeye. Attaboy.
Well, yeah, you as a kid, I grew up with like Popeye and stuff like that. So eat your spinach and figure get bigger muscles. I didn't realize that you get bigger just in the stomach.
I mean, shit. Even Ivan Drago ate his spinach.
From
Rocky. Yeah, but actually he was taking steroids.
I'm horrible with movies, and Jessica can share that relation. We could watch a movie 3 times, and then like someone could ask us like a month later if we've seen the movie, and we still won't know.
Yeah.
Right.
We also get a little distracted during our movies.
Hint, hint. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
We get into the ice cream.
we make each other what is it? Human sundaes. Shane's looking at me and he's like, "That's actually a pretty good idea."
It's like, actually, why haven't we done that?
I was say, listen, like just because I'm into bodybuilding doesn't mean I don't like to eat just as much as the next guy. I can eat a lot. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, I've never dated anyone into the gym scene. So like I start dating Shane, and I'm just like, start cooking for us, and I'm like, dude, like you eat a lot. Like he eats probably like 3-4 times the amount I do, and I'm just like, this is fucking insane. Like
Nice.
Yeah, he eats a lot.
Nice.
I polished off full pizzas I mean, at the end of eating a full pizza, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you fat, disgusting piece of shit.
Says everyone ever.
But like, at the moment it feels good.
Oh yeah. Love the pleasure now, but hate the look after.
Oh yeah.
So what do you mean by like you like dated guys that were not in the bodybuilding scene? Like what kind of guys are we talking about here?
She was a skater boy. He said, see you later, boy.
Oh my god, were you like Avril Lavigne 2.0?
No, but like I don't know, just different kinds of guys. Just not anyone who like went to the gym, took care of themselves. Like I don't know, just like I feel like a lot of your average Americans.
Your average American. So a frat boy.
Yeah, like assholes, players, like
Love it.
yeah, just the typical like that. And then I dated the only closest thing I dated to a gym person would be a CrossFitter.
Oh yeah, your last the one
Yeah,
before me,
that's
yeah.
like that's like the closest. So then like dating someone who's like into the gym, it is definitely different. It's so nice because like I don't have to feel bad about going to the gym, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like
we went last night. Like we were kind of dragging ass, but we went as late as like what? It was like almost midnight or 11 o'clock. I
yeah,
think.
it was pretty late. But like there was actually so many people at the gym yesterday. It was really weird.
So how many times do you guys work out?
Like
Like,
5
how many
to
ti-
6 times a week.
I used to work out
6
7. I dialed it down to because apparently another thing that Jessica's introduced me to is rest days. So
yeah,
I,
rest days are wonderful.
Yes, they're great. Your body needs them. Shane
Yeah.
does not know that concept.
Yeah, it's either full throttle or no throttle with me, baby. But yeah, I think I dialed that down to almost 5 or 6 now. 5,
Yeah.
but it's still pretty consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is up with the EDM shit?
What do you mean?
I
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, what do you want to
like,
know? Because I
yeah.
got some mixes out.
I don't know. Like festivals are great. The music's great. It's just different. Like going to like festivals or like even when you go to see like a DJ or whatever playing locally, it's just different than when you go to a concert and it's like one song. Okay, that song ended. Here's another. Like it all just like flows and like goes together.
Yeah, so I mean, I've gone to Slipknot concerts, Godsmack concerts. I've gone to even rap concerts. But like, it's a different atmosphere. There's a lot more camaraderie. Like everyone's like I talk about like the one festival when Jessica and I were supposed to meet up. Like I lost my friend group, but like even though I lost my friend group, like imagine just meeting a random person and like all of a sudden that like they just accept you. They don't care like who you are, what you are. They just accept who you are. And like all of a sudden, like just for that like hour or two, you're friends with them. And then like you could go your separate ways and never see each other again. But then that memory is like lasting. And granted, like at EDM shows, drug use is heavy, to be fair, but like we don't really even do drugs and like we still go there and we still have a good time. I mean,
we drink, like
we'll drink, we'll
drink.
smoke, we'll like,
Yeah.
but like there's people doing a lot of stuff there.
Yes.
And teach their own. I mean, if the only thing I can say with that is like if you're gonna do anything, make sure what you're doing is tested and safe.
Yes.
Like I cannot emphasize that enough. But like you don't have to be doing things to like I feel like when I talk to people and I tell them I'm into like EDM or quote unquote techno, that's the best way to put it with like some people is like they're like, oh, so you're into drugs. I'm like, no, like you don't have to be doing drugs to go to those. Like you can still, if you enjoy the music, you can enjoy the event. It's no different than like going to like a regular concert and enjoying the music for what it is.
Yeah, you just have like lasers and like cool things at
Oh
these.
yeah. Well, the other thing is too is the production levels, like the limits that they have versus a limit like at a DTE or a Freedom Hill. They can put like oodles of amount of money into it because I feel like the regulations at EDM.
What are oodles?
Oodles? I don't know, like my word for like a lot, I guess.
That's awesome.
Sometimes I make up words on like.
He said oodles. I'm like, what? Wait, hold on. Did you say oodles?
That's part of Shane's dictionary.
Yeah, it's a Shane dictionary word. But like they'll put like loads of like pyrotechnics, fireworks. I mean, there's been the EDC Las Vegas is by far of any fireworks show ever I've ever seen. It's the best fire.
I'll never look at fireworks the same. It was like 15 minutes of just like fireworks, like nonstop.
Imagine the finale at your local fireworks show on 4th of July, like the finale of that, but like make that extended to like 15 minutes straight.
Yes. It was definitely insane. And like, yeah, like just like Shane said, like everybody's just so nice and friendly. Like obviously what you wear, like the rave wear, like girls' asses are out. They're just wearing pasties and stuff. But
so
like
how many times are you covering Shane's eyes?
No, not at all. I actually don't like it. Doesn't even bother me. Like it's so nice. I don't know. You can wear whatever you want, especially like for me, like I work hard for my body and like obviously wearing like jeans or shorts, like I don't know, it's not really showing it off that much versus like rave wear. Like, yeah, I am showing it off. So it's nice.
So what if Shane showed a little bit of his ass? Would that be
No.
yay or nay?
Yeah, definitely no.
I mean,
His ass is bigger than mine, so no.
I don't think anyone wants to see that. I think that's a sight that like I'll just leave that for her. She's the prettier one out of the relationship. But like, I mean, I've worn my shirt off and stuff like that and whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But I think like going back to the raver wear thing, I think like so we went to Lost Lands last year and like we were walking in downtown Columbus.
Yes.
And there's like so when you wear certain raver wear, like especially on the girl side of things, like you're exposing more. And that's normal. Like it's not like there's really no like such thing as like showing too much because there's girls who I've seen like full on naked.
Yeah, pretty much just like a thong and like pasties, and they're like, all right, we're here to party.
But like when you're in like quote unquote public, like in Columbus or like
because we have to walk, yeah.
Because you get a shuttle to the middle of nowhere, Ohio.
Because we didn't camp this year because it's just gross when you're raving for 3 days and you're sweaty.
It's nice to take a shower at the end of the night.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
But so we were walking and like the average person might look at it as like a girl being a slut and wearing sluttier clothing. Like I mean, I'm standing right next to Jessica and there's guys going, "Hey, baby," you know, like just like hooting and hollering and you know whatever.
But like those cat calls,
you know, like just typical. Like, and I'm standing like right there and I'm just like, really, dude. But once you get to the festival itself, like I said, it's a very camaraderie. Like if you're actually having like a bad time or like you're dehydrated, there's like instantly even someone you don't know asking, "Hey man, do you need water? Do you need this? Do you need that? Are you having a bad time? Or is everything okay?" Like,
yeah,
like it's actually the most laid back atmosphere that you could go to. And part of the reason why we like it is for that reason. Like you can kind of just be yourself and you don't have to like be uptight. You don't have to be a certain way. You can just be yourself and like not really be judged for being yourself.
Yeah, like you don't get the like dirty looks of like, oh, like why do you look like that or why are you wearing that? Like I feel like I don't know, especially nowadays, like a lot of people just look at other people and like if you're not to like their expectation or how they want you to look, they'll just look at you like, well, why do you look like that?
Or
like,
even as a guy, like I think Jessica can vouch for me. Like I'm definitely different in a good way. Like I can listen to like things like Pantera, Lamb of God, Slipknot, like the harder side of metal, or even like A Night in Texas and stuff like that. But like then there's some days where like I want to jam out to like Britney Spears or Backstreet Boys, and then like so like there'll be like things at EDM events where like all of a sudden you'll like I'm just myself and I'll start jamming out or I'll start dancing in my weird ways that I dance, and like I don't have to feel like if I ever did that at a bar, I feel like everyone's like, "Oh, look at that guy," versus like if I'm at like an EDM event, like everyone's like, "Oh, he's just having a good time."
Yeah. I mean that totally makes sense. But I mean, but also another thing is like even if like your jam does come on, say at a wedding or at like a party, take your ass off. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, if there's one thing that I could do
that.
That's one thing that I've learned over time is like dance your ass off. Who gives a shit?
Yes.
If there's one thing that I could go back to 18 to like 21-year-old Shane, like it would definitely be like honestly, like people are gonna judge you whether you do something or not. So might as well do something and like,
have fun doing it.
Yeah, and that way you can look back in the memory and say you at least had fun versus like worrying like, oh my god, like if I do this people are gonna like laugh or people are gonna do this. Like people are gonna point and laugh, like whether that's in that moment or even in life. Like people are always gonna judge you, people are always gonna have something to talk about you. Just do whatever it is you want to do, and if you're enjoying it, who cares?
And in the end, most likely those people that are pointing at and laughing at you most likely will be like, oh damn, we should get on the dance floor too and have a good time.
Yes.
So, oh yeah, Jake DeRuin, I mean, you know Jake.
Oh
he got married, and I was in the bag for that wedding for a lot of it. And I mean, even for his wedding, her and I, she's just as weird as I am when it comes to some stuff. And like they're playing like early 2000s stuff like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and like we're over here just like dancing our asses off, and everyone's like looking at us like, yeah, they're having a good time. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is like people don't realize like that energy carries. So like when you are that comfortable with being yourself and doing those things, like all of a sudden like everyone around you starts to catch that vibe or energy or whatever you want to call it, and like it makes the whole entire event like nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jessica, I'm gonna turn the focus onto you. So with so you're actually the first female on Magnificent. So
Woo!
you get a gold star.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, Shane, for bringing her. Yeah, he was texting back and forth. He was like, "Hey, man," he goes, "I don't know if she's gonna be coming. You want me still to come?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "But I would like to have the two of you." And he's like, "Ah, so you want the pretty one, huh?"
Yeah,
And I
he
was
told
like,
me.
"I mean, if you're pretty too, I mean, yeah, come with."
I got my eyelashes done for this.
He calls me. He's like, "Hey, is this recorded or are we doing like
Well,
audio or?"
I like didn't do my hair. I got like my hat on today, so I'm like, do I need to look pretty? Like,
No,
do I need to go get ready?
y'all look fine. I mean, shoot, like
I was like, I think we look like gym people, you know.
Yeah, we fit with the narrative you were going for.
Love
Wearing
it.
sweats
Love it.
and a backwards hat.
Yeah, right.
So what's your question?
So
for
my
me?
question is, I've actually like as soon as I put you guys on the calendar for coming on to the show. So what about women's fitness is like the most, I don't know how to word it. What is about women's fitness that really either pulls you in or is very like something that you can spread to like all women that are listening?
Oh, like advice.
Yeah, advice or like kind of what you've experienced and stuff like that.
Definitely put in the work and take the time and eat your food, but like not bad food. Like, I don't know. I'll tell like, so obviously I work at a bar, so the
Right.
people I'm surrounded with, like, they're not the healthiest people. They kind of like eat whatever's at work, which obviously is all greasy. And I'll be like, yeah, I eat like 2,000 calories a day. And they're like, yeah, I do too. And I'm like, yeah, but you eat like 2 meals. Like, I eat a bunch of like little meals. Like, eat healthy and then like don't be discouraged. Like, I feel like a lot of times girls won't go because they're like, oh, like I don't want people looking at me and stuff like that. And it's like realistically, like even like for me, I had to like dial my ego back. Like, no one's fucking looking at you. Like, go do your own thing. Go get in and out. Like, realistically, no one cares if you're doing 20 pounds or if you're doing 50 pounds or whatever you're doing. Like, just go in and get it done. Like, just, and like make it a routine to go. Like, just don't get discouraged. I don't know. I feel like a lot of girls don't want to go. So they're like, I'm just like, I don't know what to do, this or that. Well, like, guess what? This nice thing called YouTube. And like, you can find a lot of like good things on there that will give you information that can help get you started. I mean, like, before bodybuilding, like, that's where I learned everything, was literally like YouTube and Instagram. And I mean, like, not everything is what they say, or like not all the workouts are great, but like you learn, and you learn over time, and then you make friends in the gym and they give you tips. So like, I don't know, and eat. I can't stress it enough. I mean, even for myself, for a while, like I feel like I wasn't seeing gains, and I like up my calories and I'm like, wow, like I look so much better and everything. And it's just like, and like you do end up like kind of like you look a little bit slimmer, like in my waist. Like I feel like I eat more and I look slimmer versus like when I don't eat enough, I feel like I just like look like blah and bloated.
That's weird because like
I know. Trust me, it's so weird. Every time I tell people, they're like, eat more. Really? And I'm like, yeah, eat more. Because like then
Yeah.
your metabolism gets up. You get it going, and then you're just constantly like burning this food. I mean, like Shane can vouch. I feel like even I've gotten like his metabolism better, just and like you can make food fun. You can season it,
You can.
just use the right things. Like all it takes is just a little bit of like research and it'll go a long way, to be honest.
Yeah, we've been on a kick right now with it's literally the simplest recipe. Like so we've designated like certain things, like so my job's like I'll chop all the chicken for her, and then like she like has her little recipes she likes to try. But the one we've been really liking lately is it literally as simple as like put chicken into a pan, put honey mustard or no Dijon mustard
and Dijon and regular mustard, and then like a little bit of honey and just like some seasonings, and like you just pop it in the oven, you go do your thing for like a half hour, and it tastes so good. And it's just so simple, and it's not like blah or anything. Like it's not just like plain chicken. You can still make it fun. Like realistically, if you're not doing a bodybuilding show, like you don't have to like worry too much about like putting too much seasoning or stuff. Like, I mean, obviously don't go get a marinade and just like eat all that, but like, you still can make things like fun and taste good and get your calories in without like it being bad for you.
We're going to take another quick break. And we're back. All right. So shout out to Jimmy Fallon on that SNL skit for doing that. So you can just look it up on YouTube. But so like we were talking about, so about let's go into the EDM. So how did you guys get into EDM?
So I don't know. I've always had a few songs that I listened to. I didn't really know were EDM. And then there's a girl I worked with that kind of like started introducing me more to it. And then right actually before COVID hit, she's like, let's go to this festival. And like I was like, okay, sure. I was down. Like, why not? Let's do it. It's in the middle of nowhere, but sure. And then COVID hit. So like your tickets kind of just rolled over. And then we went to it and I had like the time of my life, and then kind of just started dabbling more into it, and then now it's like a big majority of kind of what I listen to. I would say probably like 75-80% of the time that's what I listen to, but there is times where it's like a lot, like Shane said, like it's very high energy music. So like sometimes you're just like, I just want to chill, or like it's super early in the morning and you're like, I just want to listen to something a little bit more calming. So there are times like we still listen to other things than just that. But yeah, being into the gym, it kind of goes hand in hand, like just such high energy music. It kind of gets you going at the gym. And then like I said, with DJs having like sets, it's not like when you're on Spotify, like you just listen to one song and you have to wait for like, the chorus, where basically that's usually everybody's favorite part, where it's like kind of gets you going. Like in sets, it's kind of like constantly going. I mean, there's highs and lows, but for the most part, it's very high energy. And then they're usually like an hour. So when you're at the gym, like you, instead of, you finish a song and the next song comes on and you're like, I don't like this song. Like, and then you're like wasting a few minutes on your phone. Like, man, like I need to find a song I want to listen to, versus when you put on a set, it's like, that's an hour. So it just plays and it just makes it easier when you're at the gym.
Yeah, I really dig the EDM that remix songs.
Yes.
Like what was it, like Fancy by Reba McEntire? Like there was like this EDM like house sound to it, and I was like, damn, this shit rocks.
Yeah, and well, that's what's kind of nice about EDM too. There's house, and then there's headbanging, and then there's like drum and bass. There's like so many like different like subgenres that you can listen to. So it's like you can kind of find something, I feel like, for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what got me into it, is like I feel like there's entry level EDM that you like show like people who aren't into it, and they're like, oh, okay, it's just like any other music. But then there's like, with me, like I just dove right into the quote unquote harder stuff, like the things that's more for rock and roll people, like there's a guy, Sullivan King. He's by far my favorite artist, and like listening to him in the gym, like you said, like listening to a set and not having to constantly dick with your phone and change music, and just like let something play for an hour and just listen to like that artist, but like different versions of that artist. Or like the thing is like you'll listen to that artist, or you'll even listen to the song, but then they know that you're kind of sick of listening to the song, so like they'll remix it to sound different. And like you can think you're going to a concert and think you're going to hear the song that you want to hear, but then all of a sudden you'll hear it in a different way, and it's like hearing that song all over again for the first time.
Or like, how many times is there that like when you're at a set, like they'll play things that they won't release for like a year or two. Like you'll hear a part like when you're listening to them, you're like, wow, I really like that. Like, what is that song? And like they won't release it for a while. So it's kind of cool too.
Yeah, EDM's different than regular like mainstream music. Is like, so with regular mainstream music, it like they'll release an album and they will tour the album, as opposed to like EDM, you'll go to a concert and hear a song and you'll know you've never heard it before, but then like for months on end they will never like release that song until like they're ready to release an album. So like personally I think they do it on purpose to gauge like how the audience feels about it, because there's still songs that I heard 4 or 5 years ago that I still haven't heard come out yet. that are only specific to like sets and things like that. So like that's the other thing with EDM is like it's very like unique in that like every set's a little different, every like concert's a little different. Like you can think you know what you're gonna listen to, but then all of a sudden they'll remix it a little different because it's all electronic. So like instead of like you having to know how to play the instruments, they can take it to the next level and change it and warp it and distort it to ways that like you've never even heard before. And sometimes some people like it, sometimes some people don't. There's plenty of songs out there that an artist will release a song, but then another artist, like let's say Sullivan King releases a song, but then there's another artist out there called Subtronics. He'll take that song and make it into his sound or his noise, and then all of a sudden it just sounds completely different, but it's the same technically song, just sounding different. And you might even like that better than the original.
Or I mean, even with just like mainstream music, like what's nice in like in the like the EDM scene is they'll take songs that like everybody knows, kind of like from early 2000s or even from way back in the day, and they'll make it like their own version, but like people will still know part of the song. And like I feel like with like rap or hip hop or pop, like if like an artist were to like play another part of like someone else's song, I feel like they'd be sued right away.
Oh yeah, if like Eminem played any of like Mac Miller stuff, he would be there would be so many copyright lawsuits and stuff. Versus like in the EDM community, they almost encourage each other to use each other's music, so that like it's almost like helping promote each other. Like, hey, I've never heard of this guy, but all of a sudden like Subtronics is releasing this remix of Sullivan King's song. It's like I've never heard of Sullivan King, so let's check out this guy. And then all of a sudden you're going down this rabbit hole of like, well, Sullivan King remixed Wooly, and then all of a sudden Wooly remix, and then like you're finding all these different genres of artists. And even like I never listened to house music before I dated Jessica, and then Jessica started showing me house stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool because it's got like a different sound. Like that's the other thing too.
It's more of like a chill sound, right? It's
yeah, like I mean,
you
you probably know like some like Tiesto. I feel like everybody kind of knows Tiesto. So like we've seen Tiesto, like that's kind of more like house music, kind of like almost like club music, like very uppy, dancey. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of house music.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I would almost say to anybody is if like you want to get into like EDM or whatever, like listen to the music on your own first. Don't just expect to go to the club and like you're gonna like the music, because like I used to, like when I was like 19, 20, even 21, I would go to clubs and I'd be like, why do people like going to clubs? But then it wasn't until I got into EDM and finding very specific artists that I like, and then going to like the club, because that's typically where like EDM shows are. They're not at your traditional like DTEs or Freedom Hills. They're usually at the club, but then when you know the artist is playing, you actually can enjoy it a lot more. And that's what made me understand that this is why people like clubs. I mean, you also have the people who just go to clubs to do whatever they got to do, whatever. But like, that's the reason why, like, when we go to clubs, like even my parents are like, you go to the clubs a lot. It's like, I'm not going to the club to go to the club. I'm going to the club
for a show,
for a concert. Yes. And we like that. It's like, it's actually still relatively underground. It's starting to pick up some traction to where like we can go to the club and there's not 50,000 people there, like versus like DTE or like Freedom Hill or stuff like that. Like we can go to the club and there's only like 1,000 people. Or we've gone to some shows. I mean, we went to one in Grand Rapids where there was literally only like 500 people there.
Yeah, like it was small. It hasn't like festivals are big, but smaller shows like not as many people go to because not as many people are like into that scene yet. So it is nice. And then plus usually tickets are cheaper too.
Oh yeah, if you can find like a good underground club, we've gotten tickets as cheap as like $20.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, especially nowadays. That's like crazy to hear.
Yeah, everybody's wanting to do their shows for like, their most expensive ticket is like $500 or something.
My sister told me that, and she thought it was a good deal, and granted it is. She wants to see Morgan Wallen, and she ended up spending like, he's coming to Detroit, and I think she said she spent only $200 on the tickets, and they're at I think he's at Little Caesars. I could be wrong on that, but he's at Little Caesars, and like she told me she spent $200, and she's like, that's such a good deal. I'm like, dude, that's like, I mean, that's like festival tickets for us. Like $200 for us is like festival tickets. Then that's 3-day event of like.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I paid for Faster Horses, and I'm seeing way more than just one artist.
One person. Yeah. Or I mean, even if you are seeing sometimes the warm-up artists, still it's only like 2-3 artists versus like.
Yeah. I mean, I get to see the headliners are Luke Bryan, Zach Brown Band, and Shania Twain. So let's go, girls.
I personally, the way things are going, I think that you're going to start seeing festivals pick up more traction, just festivals in general, whether it's
Yeah.
Coachella, Faster Horses, because you can actually put more people into those events and actually charge higher ticket prices, but people still kind of have a good time because every seat's almost a good seat versus like I bought this is back in like 2016, 2017 Godsmack Shinedown tickets.
Oh, I remember when they came to town.
Yeah,
that was a
and
good pairing.
though that was like $130 just for the one ticket for one night versus like a festival you can spend two, even if it's $400 for the tickets, like you can, but you're getting a 4-day event or a 3-day event of like all your favorite artists, not just like
Yeah.
one artist.
Yeah. So you were saying how like in the morning and stuff like that, you're like, oh, I need to play something chill, right? So knowing that you guys live together, what's a common day in the life of Shane and Jessica like?
Oh, we have opposite schedules. We are almost, I mean, like Monday through Friday, Shane has to work super early. So he's up. I'm still sleeping. So I kind of get up, do my own thing, wait for him to get off. We usually go to the gym together for the most part, and then I go to work.
Yeah, we've gotten in a pretty good routine where like, so my work schedule right now is 6 o'clock a.m. to like 2:30 p.m. So like, and I only work 10 minutes from my house. So like by the time I get home, like we already have meals ready. Like once you get in the routine, it's all nice. So like meals are ready, then all of a sudden we're at the gym at 3:30, and then we're at home by like 4:30. You're getting ready for work and leave by like 5:30 ish, and at work
Yeah.
at 6.
And then I don't come home till like midnight.
Yeah,
One,
so I think with most couples, like it's a different dynamic that we have. Like most couples like have the traditional like go to work at the same time, come home at the same time, so they get to spend the nights together versus we only get like a small portion of our day, a small window of our day, and then like we utilize like Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night as like kind of like, or not nights, but Friday night, Saturday, and then Sunday as like
Yeah.
our days to kind of catch up, reconnect, like regroup, and just like kind of hang out and stuff like that. So like we have people tell us like, oh, you guys see each other all the time and you guys live together. Like we do, but we don't. Like I utilize like when she's at work as my time to like do Shane things, whether it's freaking stare at and watch paint dry for 3 hours or work on my mixes or whatever. So I mean, on a Saturday and Sunday, like a chill day, like we like listening to like things like Tiesto, Ganja White Night. Those are all more of our chiller vibes. But I mean, what's funny is we can listen to like the harder like stuff like Sudden Death or Sullivan King and just be completely fine. We won't even bat an eyelash.
Yeah.
So you guys just listen to music the whole time, or?
We actually don't really listen to music, I would say, at home. Like we used to a lot more, but we really haven't been lately. We've
been dialing down the sensory overload. Like I think there comes a point in a lot of people's life, especially with how heavy like social media use and like stimulants are today. Like I feel like today's people are very high stimulated, whether it's like living in the cities, listening to music or whatever. Like, so what we like to do sometimes is just like have a day of like just the house is silent. Like even if we're just cooking near each other, we're those types of people where we enjoy just each other's company. We don't even have to say a word sometimes, but we just enjoy each other being near each other.
Yeah, we've definitely dialed back the music, I feel like.
Yeah, we basically kind of save the music sometimes even just for the gym, just to get like the high BPM, the high energy, the things like that. But then like when we kind of come home, it's like, okay, let's decompress, because like if you're listening to high energy things or doing high stimulating activities like all the time, like your dopamine is just like gonna take a hit, and like you just become burnt out at a certain point.
Yeah. So like, do you guys watch any shows or any shows together?
We've had a few that we got into.
Oh my god, the latest show that Shane has been into is Teen Titans.
Yeah. Well, so this happens to me every year, and actually this is probably like a prime example. Like, so me and Jessica dated for like this past year, and we kind of like we've been having a great time doing all these things, but now that like we're starting to settle down into like a mature couple, she's starting to see some of my habits that like I had as single Shane, because like now we're not go all the time. So like every year I always choose like an old childhood like cartoon, like whether it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Looney Tunes. I'll take it and I'll just watch all of the seasons that were ever available for that like series, whether it's even SpongeBob or stuff like that. And I'll just watch all the seasons just to re-catch up, and it's like being a kid again. So like for whatever reason, I think we were just browsing through Amazon looking for a movie one night. Like we were hanging out and just watching, looking for a movie, and I'm like, whoa, they got Teen Titans, and I'm like, oh no, I'm like, this is gonna be the one. So I've been watching all the original like not Teen Titans Go, but Teen Titans like from 2005. And it's cool because like it's just a different type of cartoon. It's like anime, but it's still like American style and like whatever. But like even before that, I've watched Avatar, all the Avatar: The Last Airbenders. I've watched. I mean, we got into another one. I mean, we've gotten into Breaking Bad. I got into that. I should say I got into that one, and then I ended up liking it so much I watched so far ahead that she couldn't catch up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I couldn't get with it like the first couple episodes. Like
It takes a little bit of time, I feel like.
I don't know.
Breaking
Like
Bad.
I don't know. I couldn't handle it. It wasn't that I couldn't handle it. It was more it was the fact that I just couldn't like it. With me, like you got to catch my attention right off the bat. Right off the bat. First episode, even the second episode, like you better
pulls you in,
better
basically.
pull me in. You better pull me in now. If not, we're not gonna be cool. We're not gonna be friends. So, like with Yellowstone, right? I don't know if you guys have watched that
I
yet.
don't think so. What is that on?
So it's about the best advice, the best way to describe it that I could give is it's like the mob meets westerns,
Okay.
kind of. I mean,
So what platform is it on? What, Netflix? Amazon?
It's on Paramount Network.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but it's very western, but it's got like a big drama kind of
Okay.
thing to it. So I like it. I mean, it cusses. There's a little bit of nudity, so there you go, Shano.
I get plenty of that.
So-
One thing Jessica's definitely gotten comfortable with is like, so she lived with her parents before like her and I actually got serious and moved in together, but she's like, I love that I can just walk around naked around the house. I'm like,
it's so nice.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
It is. It's so great. I got Shane into it, and like I feel like he used to always sleep with clothes on, and I was like, just try sleeping naked. It's so nice. Trust me.
At first, there was an adaptation period. Like I was like, there's just too much freedom with some things. But then, like once I started like really like getting used to it, I was like, actually, I could see the hype about it.
So nice.
Yeah. Plus, like when you start getting a little frisky, things are already out in the open, and you don't gotta waste time.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. I mean, I could definitely say, walking around here, naked and stuff like that, it's not that bad, as long as I get the
I think our neighbors probably think we're like nudists. I think they closed some of their blinds for a reason.
I mean, I just don't want a kid to come over and be like, Mommy, what is that?
I mean, luckily the neighborhood we're in is like heavily old people.
Yes.
I think they've definitely at least once or twice seen both of us naked. There was one time Jessica was cutting. Jessica's awesome. Like, so one day I come home from work and she's like cutting the grass, and I've never heard of any girl cutting the grass, but she's like cutting the grass in the.
Good for you.
But she's cutting grass in a bikini, and I look over and my neighbors.
I had shorts on. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was bikini top with jean shorts, and she's cutting grass.
Tease.
Well, yeah, I pull up and I'm like, she's looking all good. I'm like, all right. And then I look over and the neighbor's sitting out there on his porch just watching her. And like, I'm like, hey, Jessica, I don't care. I'm not that type of guy. But like, I'm like, hey, Jessica, let me take over. And she's like, oh, okay. I was getting worn out or whatever. Anyway, so I hop on the lawnmower. And it almost instantaneously, I watched the guy get up and then go into his house. And I'm like, oh, I see what was going on here.
Guy has iced tea or a cold beer.
Yeah,
you may be like, yeah, you mow that lawn, honey.
I was just like, oh, okay. But what made it even funnier was like, so I've lived in my house for 3 years, and like 2 of those years I was alone. So like, there's an old lady that lives across the street, and what made it even funnier was like, as soon as that guy goes in, the old lady comes out and sits on her porch and starts watching me, and I'm like, what is going on right now?
Well, we're definitely like, I think probably the youngest people, I would say,
Yeah,
on the street.
Yeah, I mean, I bought my house at 23, and there's no one even remotely close to our age in our neighborhood.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, it was a very funny moment.
I only
Yeah.
wonder if that will ever happen to me. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you got some big windows. Maybe like one day, like if you're having a little
Just-
one night
Just start
stand.
Just-
Windexing your window.
You know what? You know what? Screw that, because I got lights around here. So here's what I'll do. Right? Put on some lights. Put on some music.
You're
Right?
gonna start giving your
No.
neighbors a show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Put myself in tanning oil or tanning like whatever you guys use for like bodybuilding shows. Right?
Matt Sims, OnlyFans coming soon.
So- and then just start flexing and shit like that, and then just whoever wants to come, I'll have like a tip jar and with the string, and I'll just, here you go.
Listen, like there's some websites on there for you if you're looking for love. I mean, you don't gotta do it that way, man. You might get a weird crowd of people.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Men, women, who gives a shit? But oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for coming in today, and
Thanks for having us.
I very much appreciate it. It was so much fun. I would love to have you guys on here again. If you we'll have to talk about it after the show, but
Yes, we'll see how the rapport goes, and if your audience likes listening to two meatheads talk about EDM and
EDM in the
weightlifting,
gym.
yeah, if they're all about it again, I'd love to do it. I mean, we're like I told you off the mic, we're very chatty people, so
oh yeah.
get a couple of energy drinks in us, and we won't shut up.
And here's the thing, like even next time we won't have to talk about the gym very much. It was just mainly to get to know you guys and everything like that. So
Well, thanks for having us.
Hey,
I
thanks-
really appreciate
thank
it.
you guys so much. I very much appreciate it.
We'll
Thank you.